Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, I have an unboxing. I was told you better cover up those things with your address and information, so I did. They got a great big sign on the sides, so they know it goes to me. Now, one of the things that I have learned is that you don't want to open it from the top if you got all of this stuff on there because you may need it or just a big hassle. Open it from the bottom. So I got the bottom all cut and ready to go. And let's take a look and see what we got here. As sort of the one of the things that I normally like to have on any watch is an exhibition window on the back. This one doesn't have it, and there was a lot of iffiness, a lot of confusion about what kind of movement it has. So let's take a look at it. Oops, got it upside down here. Hang on, I'll hold it up here so everyone can see it. Okay, there we are. Now this is this is the box. It's sort of like it has it looks like a rubber, some kind of thing here, and I guess this is what this is. This is weird. Okay, there's the watch. It's my Boucheron Ronde. Now, the mystery is that what kind of movement does it have, right? There's the back, and the back, one of the things about the back, two things actually, for some reason, I like it is sort of the hobnailed back or Clos de Paris back to it. So what I'll have to do is to take the back off to find out what kind of movement it has. Now, let me explain this fairly simply. There were, for men's Boucheron, by the way, too, Boucheron and a lot of other jewelry companies quit making them for men. They're because they were primarily women's jewelry, and most of the watches, the great majority, are for women, but they are like a world-class jeweler. And so the back of the case is the anglaise, or not the anglaise, but more of like a metal guilloche, and then a deep guilloche on the movement. I don't know if on the dial. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, it's an automatic. Here you have the crown is very much fits into the side. So, okay, so also the straps they sent, and this is sort of necessary because the to the United States, if you ship anything other than textile or just sort of plain old cowhide leather, they'll stop you. And what I want to put on, I have these gaiter straps. This has, one of the things I always check, it does have the Boucheron buckle on it. So anyway, so now what I want to do, first I'm going to take off the back, and so we can take a look at it. But before we do that, one of the things I wanted to explain, this watch is called the Ronde, Ronde. I don't know, it's a French term, but it sounds like round, but I'm not positive. There were two basic types, and normally the type that was available, but I didn't want it for some reason. For some reason, I wanted this. I just like this particular back with the Clos de Paris on it, and so here's the thing. Boucheron had Gerard Perregaux make a special movement for it. It's like literally a bespoke movement. It was called the Gerard Perregaux 4000. finding out about the Girard-Perregaux 4000 has not been easy. Some of the places I looked up, they said, okay, all the Rhones have the Girard-Perregaux 4000. Others said, well, we're not sure. And probably the reason they weren't sure is that on the models with the that you can see there's sort of like a little oval and you can see the movement very clearly. You can see what it is. But on this one, you can't see it at all. And of course, I got this from Chrono 24. Chrono 24, I like working with them. They've done a good job. They do add a little to the sales tax for themselves. And of course, they added, this is the other thing, they added 39% tariff because it came to the United States. Now, I got it, it came from Japan, so you should know this, but it's Swiss made, and so they do it by the origin, okay? Now, on this, right down here at the bottom, it doesn't say made in Switzerland. It says Pla de Vendôme, all right? I talked about that, which is like a super fancy place where the Ritz Hotel is and all of these other top jewelers in Paris. And so why did they nail me with the 39% that they're currently charging import into the United States? They have this punitive tariff against Switzerland for, I don't know why, but it's one of those things that we live with right now. So this, but if it came from France, I think theirs is like half, even less than that. It's like 10 or 15% tariff. I wish just last year there were no tariffs at all, but that was then, this is now. So this is what we have to live with. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the back. We'll take a look at the movement, and then I'm going to swap the straps. I'll be right back. Let's start with sort of what I was been concerned about. There was a watch that Boucheron made called the E Pure, and they made two versions of it that were almost identical but different in key ways. The ones made of gold, primarily white gold, had the Girard-Perregaux 4000 movement, which was a bespoke movement that Girard-Perregaux made for Boucheron. Okay, so that was fine, but then I found that the steel versions had ETA movements, and I didn't want an ETA movement. I think I got one already. And so I was very concerned that this watch I just bought with a solid back, and looking all over the internet, they didn't know. I mean, that's really what it came down to. Well, maybe it's got this, maybe it's got that, you know. It's just a movement. So in the one that we just had, you could see through the back that it was a Girard-Perregaux 4000. And I thought, well, maybe they have the ones with a solid back, they don't have that, and that's how come they have a solid back. So that was what the mystery was to me. So I've got these screws I've got to remove. You can see I've already removed a few of them. So let's take a look and see what we found. Okay, well, I opened it up, and just at a glance, it looked like the same one that the one with the exhibition window had. And upon closer examination, I found it did have a Girard-Perregaux 4000. In fact, it's written right there on the movement, GP 4000. A little hard to see. I blew it up and put it in the corner around right around 5 o'clock on that on the image there. And so that was very happy camper. I was looking at the regulator on it, and balance, of course. and it's got the balance isn't huge. It's a 800 movement on it, so they often have a smaller dial. So automatic. The rotor on it has something that I never did figure out, but it's something from Boucheron that they have on a lot of their other watches. So anyway, they have the Girard Perregaux 4000. The other thing that they have about it's a very simple watch. Earlier I had mentioned that on the bottom, instead of saying Swiss made, it has 20 Pla Vendôme on it. And so, I mean, it's in Paris, and yet they charged me for a lot more. It has very, very nice, very deep guilloche on the dial. And it's got this itty bitty date window on it. It's very hard to see. One of the things, either I haven't figured it out yet, or it doesn't have one of those fast automatic to move the date along. I'll have to find out more about that. You have to sort of turn it until, going through. It's sort of a hassle resetting the date, but it works just fine. The watch feels right and everything. Now, another thing I found out, and this is another thing they don't put in the ads. They have, for movement on this one, they had automatic. Could have been anything, okay? So that's one of the things I think is important, because you're paying for it. And even though I got a heck of a good buy on this, except for that stupid tariff, this watch was, here you have basically a piece of men's jewelry with the Clos de Paris along the sides and on the back, and then they have this sort of a starburst kind of guilloche, and then they have the ring around these ring bezel on it. I mean, this specially made hands and everything else. It's a kind of watch I like, but the thing I like the most is it has a good movement. I love good movement, and I had to sort of dig it out on that. So that's sort of the watch itself. Oh, by the way, too, another thing for when you're buying a watch, find out the lug width. I didn't really try hard enough to find the lug width. That black band, black gator band I showed earlier, that was a 20 millimeter. These require 18 millimeters. So I ordered a new gator strap for it. In the meantime, I'll just use this one, and then when I get my gator strap, I'll put on the best Boucheron buckle on it. Okay, now the final thing I think here was the mystery movement that there's so little information on, and so what I did, I hooked it up to my time grapher and took a look at it. Now there are a lot of things on here, a lot of information, so I learned about the movement. The first thing, this one, the rate, going from left to right, you can see it along the top of the image, rate, amplitude, beat error, and then parameters. Has two parameters, the lift angle and the frequency. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, the rate is 3 seconds a day. Minus, in other words, it's after 24 hours, it's 3 seconds off, a little slow. That's considered excellent, by the way. Now, I only did, this, the data on the time grapher is from a dial-up position. And some of the other positions, it didn't do very well. That's okay. I usually wear it in this position anyway. The second thing is amplitude. And amplitude is an acceptable level of amplitude is from about 270 degrees to 315 degrees. And amplitude is a measure of swing of the uh, balance wheel of a, think of a 360-degree arc, okay? And a good one will go 270, 270, up to 310, 310. Okay, none of them go 360. And the amplitude on this is showing to be 225, which means that it's not doing as much as it probably should. How do you fix amplitude? I'm going to find out. I think the answer may end up with a watchmaker. One of the sources, the most suspected sources, is the mainspring, which is no small deal. Okay, the beat era is about as good as you can get, zero point 0. An excellent one is zero point 0.6 of a beat era. This had 0.0, so it was doing quite well on that. Now, the other thing on the under parameters, it had two that you should know about. One is called the lift angle, and that's given as a percentage, 52. That's pretty common. That's sort of like it's set to that. And what it is, it's the number of degrees a balance wheel turns while making contact with the fork of the escapement. When when the wheel is making its semi-oscillations back and forth, there's a little part that kicks the pallet fork one way or the other. Each time it gives it a kick, it releases the escapement one gear. Okay, it goes one way and it thing goes, and then it goes the other. So it's going pretty much like that, ticking away on it, and so that's the number of degrees that the balance wheel turns while making contact with the fork of the escapement. Finally, there's under parameters, it'll show the lift angle for a little while, and then it'll show the frequency. And the frequency on this one is about probably the most common watch frequency there is 28,800 semi-oscillations per hour. Okay, well, that's sort of the story of my new watch. The only thing I can add to it is that the delivery came from Japan. They sent it to UPS. I was delighted. UPS, as soon as they got it, they said, we'll be by sometime in the afternoon. And so my wife and I had things to do in the morning. She went off and did her thing, and I was doing my thing, and they showed up with it. Well, but then we found out that they'd changed the delivery from the afternoon to the morning. Now, the problem with that is that people have lives beside waiting at home for the watch to show up. So I thought, well, listen, this is crazy. What I'll do, I'll just tell them, look, I'll pick it up at one of your UPS places. So I signed up, and they charged me $6 for not a lot, but it's just sort of like, okay, so charge me $6, and I'll go pick it up in Avon, which is a town nearby. Took them a week, more than a week. It was here in this where their distribution center where we are, which is not far from the airport where their distribution center is. And it took them a week just to tell me, oh, okay, now you can go pick it up. So it's one of those things. The people at UPS are very nice. The people I know at FedEx are very nice, and the people at DHL, I've had wonderful experiences, all of them. But good God, once you get to the people are fine. It's getting to people. It's artificial intelligence is more of the former and less of the latter on those things that they have. Anyway, that's my unboxing story. Like to get your views on that. And this is an opportunity to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.